house in the perfect street, yeah? You're supposed to speak English, not Portuguese. You're supposed to be tall and not small. You know, the expectation from society.
Don't talk about your feelings and thoughts and feelings and expectations of society. Speak among each other. Make a conversation of it.
Okay.
Answer a question.
Okay.
Okay.
I personally feel like the standards, I mean, for women especially, are very, very, very high. Get close to your mic. Okay. I mean, from my experience, I get like body shamed quite a lot.
So
And
do I.
It's always like, I mean, in my experience, it's mostly been males. Like,
Well,
I'm 13 years old. I'm not gonna look like Kylie Jenner. I'm sorry. Anyways.
Well, for you say it's by males. Mainly for me, it's not. It's mainly like females and stuff. Like I had a lady who came round to our house once, and she would no. What? She's my. It's really complicated. My auntie's sister-in-law. She came round to our house once for Christmas, and she always makes comments about my weight, and she treats me very well. They're very nice to me. However, there's always some kind of comment about my weight, about me being too small and being a lot like smaller than what I'm supposed to be for my age. Like a few years ago, just before we started secondary school, it was really nervous time because of course going to a new school and you get really like jitty and stuff. And she just turns around and she's like, well, you're going to get bullied at secondary school because you're too small for what you're supposed to be anyways. And just like, I feel like, what? So she has children who are my age. I'm just like, what do you tell your children this? Is this what you want your children to think? You want people to think bad about themselves because of the way they look? And I feel like the only reason she's like that is because that's what's being taught to her. And I feel like it's like a bad example's being put on, and it's just the more people, the one person gets told, news spreads really quickly. Anything that's said can spread so quickly. So a lot of people are set this example, and it makes more people build off that and make more people feel bad about themselves.
Did you respond to her in any way?
No, I got off the table and I didn't actually. I just stayed there, just carried on eating. And the main thing is that we were in front of a ton of family, male family, female family, and she just turned around and said that. And so,
Did anyone say anything to her?
no, because I have 3 older sisters and they're very protective of me and super supportive. But she said it at the exact moment where both my parents were in the kitchen, so were my siblings. I was the only one there for myself. And everyone just kind of sat there and stared at me. And some people, they just kind of just stared, like, really thingy as well. So my grandma was very, thingy about how a person should look. So I got a lot of comments made by her as well about the way that I was. So I feel like there's always some kind of pressure, especially when I'm around, those people. But yeah, I feel like there's always some kind of,
And can I ask,
specific.
did you not say anything because she was an adult and you were a child?
Yes, and about the fact that her daughter is one of my best friends. So, I didn't want to cause tension between that, but also because she's part a family member. So I don't know, it just didn't feel like the right thing at that moment. I just wanted to run up to my room and just cry about it. So no, it didn't.
Would you do anything differently now if she did it?
I probably would have turned around and said, I need you to stop because every time I'm with you, you make a comment about my weight, and frankly, this doesn't make me feel any better about myself. So I really don't appreciate it. But at that moment, I was 10 at that point. I was just, the only thing in my mind was, how on earth can you say something like that to a child who is your daughter's age? Do you expect everyone to be the same?
How do you think you would have reacted? How do you think it would have made you feel?
Awful. It does. It's not. Why do people do it? That's what I think. Just let someone live their life. Why does it matter how someone's been made? It doesn't make sense.
just because someone's different from someone else, they will point that out. And they'll be insecure about it. Most people will be insecure about their weight or how they look or their body type. And people will know, and they will talk about it constantly.
Do you think it's done out of malice then? Or do you think it's done out of an unhappiness in oneself?
Sometimes it can be an unhappiness. I know, like, if you don't like the way your body looks, and if you think, oh, like, try and bring the other person down.
Sometimes it's hard to judge a situation. Sometimes you're like, a lot of the time it's like, why did you say that? And you can't always 100% be sure why, because it's like just randomly, it's not that it was, like, for me, it's not that it was random, but sometimes you can just randomly turn around and be like that. It's quite confusing. It's a difficult subject.
Let me ask you this. Did you
She was
feel...
just about to talk.
Oh, no, I wasn't.
You were. He doesn't say much, Ange. And then she was just about to talk. Go on, say what you're going to say.
I think it depends on also the age. Because if it's like an adult, I don't think they're going to be too jealous of you if you're like a child and they just get to like, I don't know, with adults they kind of can't, you guys kind of have the power a lot of the time to just kind of be like that. But with kids, I think more often it's jealousy.
Not saying all adults are like that. It's just some people think, oh, I'm an adult, I have more power over you, so I can say this, and nothing's going to happen.
But you say you don't think it's coming from a place of jealousy. So what sort of place would that be coming from then? As an adult, talking to a child?
Just because you can, I think.
Or do you think adults, as adults, you get thick-skinned? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, you get thick-skinned.
Maybe they think that they're trying to help you, but they're not. They don't realize what situation they're putting you in right now. Like Maya said, someone said something about her, like, my friend, his mum, like, this was yesterday, they came over and she said, oh, like, you've gotten big. Because obviously I'm not, like, very thin. I'm not. So he was like, you know, Mum, you can't say that. Like, she's different. Like, you can't say everybody's not the same, like, type. That's the thing. But, yeah.
But, all right, so I'm an adult. I've also been your age, right? So I've felt how you feel when adults talk badly to you, right? So I know that it has an effect. And sometimes it can be an effect like this, and sometimes it can be an effect that stays with you for the rest of your life, yeah? So my thing is, like, looking back at my age, at your age, when I was that age, I feel like I would like to say something to these people to educate them about how they talk to us at that age and what an effect it can have. So when I ask, did you say anything? That's why I'm asking. Because also I think, as a child, you do feel like, well, you're an adult, so I can't say anything, right? But actually, you have a voice, and if you use it, that person that you're talking to may actually talk to you differently in the future. So do you feel like you would be comfortable talking to an adult and expressing how you feel about what they've said?
Yes, because I most likely will have a response back. I retaliate quite a lot, and it's not always a good thing, but like if someone says something to me, like for school, as an example, I most likely will ignore them or say something back. Isn't a great habit, but I try not to.
I won't say it directly to the person, but the only person who probably I'll tell is my mum, because I've got a very big family. I've got siblings, and I've got my dad and my mum, of course. But I don't think I'll speak to anyone about it. I'll only speak to, like, my mum. And really, like, weird thing is that I have a niece who's a baby, so of course she can't speak, she doesn't understand anything. So sometimes I'll sit with her and I'll just, like, talk to her almost about things, because, I don't know, just for me it's a way like, oh, she doesn't understand. She doesn't know who this person is. She has no clue. But sometimes you have to say it to someone. Yeah.
What about you, Marshall?
I don't know. sometimes the adult can come back as well, so that's what I would be afraid of. Sometimes I do say things back, you know, because like they need to know what they're doing, type of thing. If I know they don't mean it, but at the same time, it's like it does affect you. I would tell someone about it. I'd tell like my siblings or my cousins because we live together, or like my mum, and they will like help me, like if you know, yeah.
Do you think that adults care enough that if you did tell them, the majority of them stop it or think about the way they worded things or not do it again? Do you think adults care enough about that?
I think.
I'm
sorry.
sorry.
No, no. I mean, in my experience, a lot of the time they say they'll stop. It doesn't happen. They'll be like, "Oh, sorry, you know, I didn't mean that." Yeah, no, you said they keep doing it a lot of the time.
I'm not really sure how to like answer that.
I feel like not really sure, but sometimes if it's your parents and they do care about their kid and they do want like them to feel okay, so sometimes they will go to the person, they'll say like stuff, but sometimes